It's no coincidence that you are seeing this video. The Father is inviting you to pause for a moment and listen to a message of love meant just for you. This is called Love Unending.
My beloved child, after that shattering moment, everything you once believed to be unchanging vanished like a silent wind sweeping through an abandoned field. The bricks of your past, carefully stacked to form a gentle shelter, have fallen, crumbled quietly into dust. You can no longer hear the familiar heartbeat of the place you once called home because it no longer exists. Everything ended in the blink of an eye. A fleeting instant powerful enough to upend your entire world. You've stepped out from behind the door of illusion. Yes, I know you're confused, hollow, and part of you is screaming to reclaim what once felt secure. But, my child, within that very breaking, something deeper is beginning to take form. Do you see it? What I dismantled was never meant to wound you. I didn't sever your ties to the past to abandon you in an empty sky. I'm calling you through silence, through loss, through the aching void tearing at your chest. I am waking you from the long slumber inside the illusions of safety and permanence. The things you once believed would last forever were merely passing stations along the path you needed to walk. And now that the veil has been lifted, I want you to see more clearly, see yourself, and what awaits you ahead. Don't let panic cloud your eyes. Don't let the emptiness deceive you into thinking you've lost everything. For it's only when you have nothing left that you can finally see what has always lived within you. The fallen walls are not the end, but an opening ushered in by courage and trust. You once lived in the arms of familiarity, where everything was within reach, where each step was outlined on a map that held no surprises. But now, you're standing at a new threshold of land, untouched within yourself. You'll find it frightening, cold, and unfamiliar. You'll feel as vulnerable as a seedling in a wild field. But it is there, in that wilderness, that the new seed begins to sprout. The old home is gone. Yes, but a far greater shelter awaits zone built from your own belief and inner strength. I know you're angry. I know you want to ask why I let this happen. Why now? Why this way? But sometimes, my dear, questions don't need answers. They need acceptance. Some truths cannot be reasoned through, only felt through the heart. The breaking you are witnessing is the language of life whispering to you, change. Step forward. And before, I never left you. Even though I've released the things that once held you, I am here not as a guide who walks ahead, but as a voice echoing from within you. My silence is meant for you to hear your own voice. The pain you feel is not meant to break you, but to help you absorb the truth. You are stronger than you believe. Look again into those ashes. Do you see it? Small fragments still glimmer in the light pieces, untouched by destruction, hope, perseverance, and the longing to live true to yourself. Gather them, one by one, and carry them forward. You don't need to rebuild the old. You only need to begin something entirely new. Born from what seemed lost, you will learn to walk upon this new earth. There will be moments when your legs tremble, when you stumble, even when you believe you cannot rise again. But I believe, and I want you to believe, that each fall teaches you how to stand firmer. No one was born to remain inside the cocoon. You were not made to stay in the safety zone. You were born to reach out, to experience, to become what you never dared to imagine. My child, do not fear the unknown. Do not dread the days ahead that may feel empty and uncertain. Every step you take now, no matter how small, opens a path never walked before. I do not ask you to know exactly where you're going. I only ask you to hold on to the faith that what awaits ahead is worthy of everything you are leaving behind today. And if ever you feel too weary to keep going, remember, my silence is not absence. I am always here in the breath of the wind, in the whisper of your soul, in the quiet flutter of your heart when you close your eyes and listen deeply. I am there not to bring you back to where you were, but to remind you that you can go further than you ever imagined. Rise, my beloved. Do not let what is lost become chains that hold you back. Let them become wings, wings woven from sorrow, but strong enough to carry you across 1,000 chasms. My dear one, everything has closed, now an entire chapter of your life. Those shadowed days, drifting quietly in silent fear, where every breath was stifled by what you thought was truth, but now no was only a veil. The walls that once surrounded you no longer protect you. They've been decaying for a long time. You just hadn't yet found the courage to face that truth. And now that the first light has slipped through the cracks, you can no longer pretend to keep your eyes shut. That old season has ended. The season of endurance, of stubbornly living in a place that no longer nurtures your soul, is over. You no longer belong there. And even if your feet tremble with fear, even if each step feels like moving through thick fog, you must still go forward, because that is the only way to truly live. I know you're trembling. I can feel every anxious heartbeat, every surge of buried emotion rising in your mind. When truth appears without its comforting disguise, it becomes raw and ruthless. It chokes you, makes you feel small and hollow in the storm of your own life. I understand that feeling is not easy to bear. You are facing a relentless reality, a truth that no longer allows you to hide in the comforting stories crafted to lull your aching heart. You want to turn back, to find a dark corner to retreat into. But you know what? There is nowhere left to hide. No room dark enough to shield you from this uncertainty. No one who can protect you from yourself. I see you, with empty hands reaching out to grasp what's already gone. But all you touch is cold air. Just emptiness vast, silent, and unending. You're searching for something to hold on to, anything to believe in. But all has vanished like a dream at sunrise. Do not blame yourself for loving, for believing, for holding on too long. Those things are proof that you once lived with your whole heart. But now, it is time for that heart to lead you toward new skies. My beloved, sometimes, to find the light, we must pass through the deepest night. Sometimes, loss is not an enemy, but a hand gently pushing us through a new door of truth, of liberation, of a life more aligned with who we truly are. Every ending rings the bell of a new beginning. No matter how loud or heavy that sound may feel, you are standing at the crossroads between what is fading and what has not yet formed. It is the hardest place to be, for there's nothing familiar to hold on to, and nothing firm to place your faith in. But, my child, it is there within that chaos that the richest soil for rebirth lies. You will learn to rise from this unraveling. You will learn to build again, from within a new foundation, one that needs no external anchor, only the quiet power that lives inside you. You may not see this yet, not while your heart is still trembling and your eyes are clouded with tears. But one day, when you look back on this path, you will see that it was not just where you lost everything, but where you began to find yourself. And I want you to know something vital. You are not the breaking. You are what remains after everything has fallen away. You are the small flame that never went out. No matter how fierce the winds blew, you are the strength distilled from suffering and sincerity. Do not doubt this. Do not let pain hide the truth that you were made to rise, to be reborn, to walk forward with feet marked by scars yet still achingly beautiful. Now, if everything in you is crying out to return, to embrace what once was, gently place your hand over your heart and say, I'm still here. I haven't vanished, and I will keep going. You do not need all the answers. You only need the courage to continue seeking. My beloved child, everything truly has ended, not with a storm, but with a silence so profound. It feels as though the world stopped breathing. The blind season, where you quietly lived in the shadows of illusion and self-deception, has passed. The time of dwelling in a lifeless reality, where your soul withered beneath the guise of safety, is no more. It didn't end because the world turned its back on you. It ended because I declared that it was time to close the chapter. And my child, when something is sealed by my hand, no one can reopen it. Do not cling to what has been shut. Do not resist the flow of truth. I know part of you still struggles, still wants to resist change, to turn away from the light, slowly reaching into corners, long untouched. But don't resist anymore. Don't hold on to what is decayed, to a past that no longer nourishes you. Don't keep lying to yourself that you can return to the days now gone. You don't belong there anymore. You were never meant to stay forever in a barren land, deprived of light. You were made to grow, to evolve, to break free from the suffocating cocoon of pretending everything was fine. Maybe in the past, you told yourself you understood, that you knew what was happening, that you were strong enough to withstand it all. But now, as everything has fallen away, I want you to face a simple but profound truth. You never truly understood. You lived in blind belief that you were standing firm, when in truth, you had nailed yourself in place, frozen by fear. That stillness was not stability, it was paralysis. It was the death of movement, the refusal to live your truth. You once called it peace, but it wasn't. It was only a sweet stagnation, a false sense of calm that made you forget you were born to walk, to shift, to explore unknown lands within your soul and your life. What you thought was shelter was merely a prison, decorated in the familiar. And now, those walls have fallen. No one is holding you back anymore. Nothing is tying you to that place. You also believed you still had time, that there would come a better moment, a day when you would feel more ready to change, to leave, to begin again. But time waits for no one. It flows like a cold river, never asking for permission. And now, as you look back, you'll see how many years were swallowed by postponement, by vague promises of, someday things will change. All there, you must understand, tomorrow does not begin by waiting. Tomorrow begins when you step out of today with all your courage. And now, you can no longer linger. You must move, not because someone is pushing you out of the old place, but because something deeper, something more powerful than anything else, has called your name, truth. I see you now, bare and fragile, as the first light touches eyes long accustomed to blindness. It stings, it hurts, but that pain is the sign that your eyes are learning to see again. You are no longer in darkness, and for that reason, you cannot continue to live as if you've never seen the light. Look around you. My dear, everything familiar may have vanished, but you have never been alone. You still have yourself, and within you, the truest part of who you are, remains the part that has long awaited this very day. The part that knows you were not born to live small within tight boundaries others have drawn. The part that knows you are a being of journey, of constant becoming, of skies yet unnamed. And now that nothing holds you back, walk with time. Stop fighting the current of life. Flow with it, not like someone dragged by force, but as one who dares to take hold of destiny. Step forward with the quiet faith that a path will open beneath every brave footfall. No one promised there would be no tears. No one assured you that you wouldn't fall. But I promise you this: if you do not turn back, if you do not abandon yourself, what lies ahead is freedom, not the false freedom of safety, but the real freedom to live, to breathe, to be wholly yourself. And I will walk with you, not by clutching your hand to keep you in place, but through the quiet voice in your heart. Every time you wish to stop from exhaustion, keep walking. My love, keep going, because you no longer belong to that place. My beloved, I know exactly what is rising in you now, the chilling vulnerability, the fragile sense that a mere breeze could sweep you away. I know your heart is in turmoil as you stand among the ruins, unsure how to name the ache. You remember the days behind you. Perhaps they were not perfect, but at least they were known. You long for a warmth once felt, even if only an illusion, because every soul craves something to cling to amid the relentless change of life. But my dear, yesterday is already gone. It left quietly, without warning, without leaving clear traces for you to follow. And no matter how many times you look back, all you'll find is a blur, distant, nostalgic, fading. You cannot bring yesterday into tomorrow, cannot color the new with the shades of the old, because tomorrow, the one drawing nearer with each breath, demands your full presence here and now. The world you once built in your mind, the stories you told yourself at night to soothe your fear, the masks you wore to survive a harsh reality, they've all fallen away, one layer at a time, until nothing remains but your awe and truest standing before me. And my dear, that is not the end, it is the beginning. Because now, there is nothing left between us. No illusions, no shields, no false stories to block my gaze into the depth of your heart. And do you know what I see? I see you, exactly as you are wounded, afraid, yearning for truth. I see all of it, and I still love you, not because you are strong, not because you always get it right, but because you dare to show up, to let yourself be naked in the light of truth. In this love, you have nothing to prove. This is the moment of choice, not a decision of the mind, but a response rising from the heart. Will you sit here forever, grieving what was lost, the dreams that dissolved, the plans that no longer have a path? Or will you open your heart with courage and reach out to what is coming, even if its form is still unclear, even if the future remains a blur? Will you let fear paralyze your steps, imprison your thoughts in unanswerable questions? Or will you believe with a faith tender yet unshakable that I am guiding you, step by step, toward something greater, deeper, truer than anything you've ever known? I do not promise the road ahead will be smooth. I do not claim you will never stumble. But I promise this: every step you take in truth, I will be there. Every time you lift your head from the wreckage, I will touch you with an unconditional gentleness. I will never ask you to be someone else. I only ask you to be yourself, fragile, questioning, tear-streaked as you may be. Don't wait until you feel strong enough to begin. It is in this trembling step that strength is born. It is when you have nothing left to lean on that you discover the foundation within. And it is when you believe you are losing everything that I am giving you the chance to live fully. My love, I know this is terrifying. I know your heart still carries regret, the echo of 1,000 if-onlys. But the past cannot return, and you cannot keep looking back. You must turn your face toward the light breaking through the clouds, to the place where you no longer have to wear a mask to be accepted, to the place where you can live as all that you are, and still be loved. Be brave. My child, close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and hear me whisper, you are not alone. You have never been alone. Keep walking, and I will walk with you in every breath, every dream still unspoken, every new day waiting to begin. Oh, choose. My dear, it does not matter how long you've been afraid, how many times you've fallen. What matters now is, are you willing to open your heart, to keep walking, and to believe that something good is still calling your name? My beloved, I do not come to explain. I do not ask you to understand it all, because I know even the sharpest understanding cannot withstand the storms life may bring. When the winds rise, when all around you shakes, it is not reason but faith that will keep your feet steady. I do not ask you to grasp every reason why things fell apart, nor to decipher every step ahead. I ask only this something simple, yet profound: trust. Trust that, though the road ahead is still veiled in mist, though no map marks a clear way, every step you take is drawing you closer to where you truly belong. Trust that, though your heart feels shattered by loss, though you feel as though you're falling apart, something new is quietly being born. You may not see it yet, but it is growing through every crack, every emptiness, every unspoken tear. My dear, I have never left you, not for a single moment, even in the moments you felt most abandoned. Most alone, those were the moments I was closest. I no longer shield you like before, no longer hold you tight, because I am letting you find strength from within. But remember, my silence is not absence. It is space for you to hear the voice of your own soul, where I still whisper every day. You were not made to stay in one place. You were not born to live a life of compromise, trapped in the small box called safety. I placed within you the seed of the extraordinary, a call to go further, a yearning to break free, a flame that never dies. You were made to live with a depth you've never dared explore, to rise to heights you never believed yourself worthy of. But to do that, you must learn to let go. You must dare to leave the shallow waters where you can stand without swimming, where there are no great waves, but also no vast ocean. You cannot learn to fly while clinging to what weighs you down. The old habits, the relationships that no longer nourish you, the small thoughts, the limiting words you've spoken to yourself, they must all fall away. Because you are growing, and growth always comes with parting, with shedding, with pain that feels unbearable. But that is the price of freedom. I have already cleared the way for you. The old walls are torn down, not in rage, but by the steady hand of love. I've broken apart all that blocked you from the light, the things that once held you, the endless waiting, the confusion between peace and numbness, the clinging to what has already died. I have cut them away. The old season is over, and nothing from that season fits you anymore. So do not beg me to restore what I have removed. Do not plead for the return of what In my deepest love, I chose to take. I did not break you to hurt you. I broke the false so I could build the true. Not a fragile shelter, but a temple strong and enduring. I am laying the new foundation of your life not to bring you down, but so you will never again fear falling. I am shaking what must be shaken so that only what is unshakable remains. True love, true identity, true purpose, the real you. Everything false, borrowed. Every mask you wore just to survive, I am taking it all away. Not because you are unworthy of them, but because they are unworthy of you. You are being refined like gold in the fire, purified like water passing through stone. Each layer of residue is washing away, allowing the purest part of you to emerge. You will not recognize yourself after this process, not because you've become someone else, but because, at last, you are seeing yourself as you truly are, radiant, the whole, unmistakably real. And remember this, nothing in this is meaningless. Every wound carries a voice. Every loss holds a seed. Every time you break is an invitation to go deeper, to touch something more authentic. Not a single step you take is wasted. Not a moment of your suffering is in vain. I see it all. I hold it all. And I am weaving from it something beautiful for you. Even if the picture now looks only like scattered pieces. So, my beloved, rise. Let me continue this sacred work within you. Do not turn back. Do not close the door I have opened. Trust. Keep walking. For at the end of this seemingly dark road is a light you've never known. And right there, amidst the ruins, is my hand still holding yours, never letting go. My dearest one, no, this is not the end. Even if everything within you screams that it's all fallen apart, that there's nothing left to move toward, I say to you, this is only the beginning. A beginning not paved with ease, not lined with roses, but one that is true. A door has closed. Yes, but behind it lies a sky you have never seen before. You have lived too long in a gentle light, just enough to survive, not enough to truly see yourself. Now, you are beginning to step out into an entirely new path, where each footstep begins to shape the form of a life worthy of the soul you carry. I want you to understand this. Every time you leave a comfort zone, you are not losing anything. You are moving closer to something deeper, wider, more real. I know it frightens you. I know you've grown used to the ease, the small dreams, the sweet yet empty reassurances you whispered to calm your doubts. But my love, those things cannot carry you far. They can only keep you circling in a life too dim for your spirit. And you were not born to be dim. Truth, even when it hurts, even when it slices through your soul like a cold blade, is the greatest gift I can give you, because only in truth can you be free. Only when you see everything clearly, both beauty and shadow, strength and frailty, can you walk forward as a whole being. Truth is never sent to destroy you, but to unshackle the chains that have silently bound you in a world that no longer fits. It is time, my love, to release the sweet words that were laced with poison, those you once mistook for love but were really just anchors. It is time to part from embraces that once felt warm but left you breathless. Those things made you feel safe. Yes, but they also made you small. They made you forget just how powerful, how vast you were born to be. You cannot fly if you keep clinging to the ground, and no one can soar while carrying baggage that was never theirs to begin with. I am helping you lay it down. I am peeling away the layers of your past, one by one, to make you lighter. True air toe, help you stretch toward the sun. On this new journey, you will face challenges. There will be moments so wearying that you'll want to turn back, to wear the old mask, to lie down and pretend you never saw the light. But remember this, every time you feel discomfort, it is a sign that you are growing. You are breaking through your old shell, expanding your heart to hold more life. And no matter how painful the change, it is proof that you are truly alive. The pain of leaving behind what once felt familiar is only temporary, like a child stepping away from its mother's arms for the first time. You will cry, you will long, but you will grow, and you will come to see that what awaits you is not a replacement for the past. It is something entirely different, deeper, richer, more aligned with who you really are. The joy you will discover no longer comes from false peace, but from living a life that is meaningful, real, and full of depth. You will know the kind of joy that doesn't depend on circumstance, but wells up from the heart within you. A quiet joy, not showy, but steady as the dawn after a long, aching night. Every stumble do not call it failure. Every time you fall, do not believe you are retreating. I see you, both in your shining moments and when your faith falls to pieces. And I say to you, everything you've been through carries worth. Every scar is a sacred story. Every wound is proof that you dared to live, to love, to believe. The hardships you face are not walls. They are steps lifting you higher. The dark days do not come to drown you, but to teach you how to ignite the light within. And each time you think you're giving up, I pray you'll hear my voice in your heart. You are not retreating. You are transforming. Oh, don't lose heart. Dear one, this journey is not for the hurried, but for the hearts that know how to endure. I don't ask you to be strong every moment. I only ask that you be honest with yourself, that you rise each time you fall, that you breathe deep each time it hurts. And when you despair, remember, I am still here, not high above and far away, but right there in every heartbeat, every breath, every time you dare to love life again, even with trembling hands. Do you know this? In every ending lives a promise that something is being born, even if you cannot yet see it. And in every goodbye, no matter how painful, is a quiet hello to something new drawing near. You have not lost everything. You are simply shifting from one way of being to another, more honest, more luminous, more worthy. So, my love, do not look back. Do not mourn what no longer nourishes your soul. Step forward and slowly, even cautiously, but do not stop, because I believe in you. And one day, you will believe in yourself too, in your strength, your depth, your lovability. My beloved one, sit quietly and imagine the world as a vast blank canvas, stretching across each breath, each moment of your life. On that canvas, every day you live is a brushstroke, every decision a hue, and every experience, whether glorious or heartbreaking, a shade contributing to the masterpiece of your life. I know there are days you've chosen the colors of sorrow, the gray of exhaustion, the black of disappointment, the shadowy brown of unnamed ache. And there have been days you brought warm colors of hope, of small loves, of budding belief. You've tried to paint a picture that pleased others. You've lived just to keep things okay, drawing safe, restrained lines not too bright to draw attention, not too dark to need explaining. But my love, that was never your true painting. The old colors, though, once they helped you survive, gave your tired heart a refuge they've faded. The old layers no longer sing. They no longer reflect the soul that is now shifting within you. And I want you to understand, there is no shame in letting go of a palette that once meant the world to you. The only wrong choice is staying where you no longer belong, just because you're afraid to begin again. Now is the time to choose, again, not just colors, but yourself, the real you beneath the shell of habit, of duty, of all you've done just to not disappoint anyone. Now is the moment to grip the brush with both hands and declare with clarity, this is my canvas, this is my life, and no one but me can paint it. Choose new colors, bolder, brighter. Don't fear the blazing red of passion, the golden yellow of belief, the deep blue of freedom. Choose them not because they impress others, but because they speak your truth. Let your strokes this time be unbound by fear of mistake, but guided by a deep knowing. You were born to create what has never been, to be a singular voice among echoes. Let each brushstroke be a declaration that you will no longer live in compromise, that you will face the uncomfortable spaces inside you, and from them, discover what you truly believe. This new painting does not need to be perfect or praised. It only needs to be true. So true that when you look upon it, you recognize yourself unhidden, unjudged, and unbound. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not when things are better. Now, this is the sacred second where you get to begin again, not as a failure, but as an artist reclaiming herself. The real life you've dreamed of isn't far away. It's not locked in some distant future. It's waiting for you the moment you choose to live true. Do not fear the silence that follows endings. I know, when the old life crumbles, a vast emptiness often follows, a quiet so large, it seems like nothing is happening. But within that stillness, your soul is learning how to breathe again. Your real voice, the one long drowned out by noise, expectation, pressure is starting to whisper, faintly at first, but if you listen, it will grow strong, clear, and steady like the beat of your own heart. Let the silence be fertile ground for rebirth. Do not fill it with the old, with relationships that don't nourish you, with goals that don't belong to you. Be brave enough to let it be. Because it's there you will find your true fire, not flickering with the winds of others' doubt, but burning bright from within. Can you hear it? My dear, the gentle whispers of the past have gone silent. There is nothing left to hold you back. Now, a new voice calls stronger, clear resonating in every cell of your being. It is the voice of true life, of freedom, of passion, untamed and alive, of a life that refuses to pretend for even one more second. I know you are tired. I know you've tried so hard to live right, to please, to not cause waves. But, my beloved, life was never meant for mere survival. It was meant for you to burn bright, to love, to ache, to hope, to leap with all of who you are. And now, it is you who are being called into that journey, no one else. So be brave. Paint your canvas with all your heart. Let every shade and hue reflect the dreams you've never dared to speak aloud. Walk forward with clarity about who you are and what truly matters to you. No two paintings are ever the same. No two lives ever repeat. You need not compare. You only need to be honest. And if one day you look back and see the colors smudged, the strokes misplaced, the lines unintended, smile, because that, too, is beauty. That painting is yours alone, and in my eyes, it is worthy not because it is perfect, but because it is real. My beloved, keep going. Pick up your brush, even if your hand still trembles. Even if your heart beats with doubt, paint with your tears. If you must, paint with your yearning, with all the hidden truths you've kept inside. Let the world see your true colors, for you were born to create a masterpiece, not for others, not for applause, but so that one day, as you look back, you may whisper to yourself, "This is me. This is my life, and I lived it fully, without regret." End of fame. My dear one, listen deeply, quietly. There is a sound rising within you, not the noise of the outside world, nor the doubtful murmurs of the past. This is a calling from your Sula. Sound deep, fierce, yet strangely tender. It does not force. It does not shout. It brushes your heart like a breeze, just enough for you to know it's time to begin. Do not dismiss that call. My child, don't rush to drown it in busyness or cling to old routines that no longer fit who you are. Give yourself permission to pause. Take a deep breath and listen. That call will guide you not to a specific destination, but to a deeper version of yourself, freer, truer, more alive. Each step you take in this new direction brings you closer to the boundless potential within. You don't need to seek it elsewhere. It's always been there, quietly waiting for the moment you'd be brave enough to open your heart and see. And today, I want you to know that moment is now. You are stepping into a new season of your life, one unlike any before. This is a season of renewal, of rebirth. In this season, every thought, every breath, every act pulses with a vivid, sacred energy, as if all of nature is moving with you, as if every branch and blade of grass whispers, "Move forward." Imagine a long winter just ending. Everything that once lay dormant, frozen in the cold grip of fear and stagnation, is beginning to thaw, and in each drop of melting ice is a reminder: life always returns, always continues. So do you. No matter how numb, lost, or fragile you once felt, now a spring is rising within you. What I ask of you is not to understand everything, not to be perfect. What I ask is for you to receive this season with an open heart, a heart no longer clouded by the past, no longer bound by the expectations of others, no longer strangled by fear. Just open, and the world will open with you. You may feel overwhelmed. You may feel things shifting too fast, too unexpectedly, but don't resist the change. My love, don't see it as the enemy. See it as a companion, offering its hand, inviting you into a new chapter of yourself. Every change is an opportunity, a summons to become more, to go deeper, to rise higher. You once lived by molds. You once did what was right, what was expected. You wore roles that didn't always reflect the truth of who you are. Now, I ask you, do you still want to live that way? Or are you ready to live a life that is truly yours? A life where, each morning, you wake knowing why you are alive? A life where each step, even the hard ones, carries meaning? Let the final doubts fall like autumn leaves. They're no longer needed. They've done their part, they've tested you, made you question, brought you to where you stand. But now, it's time to let them go. Because as long as you cling to fear and doubt like a shield, you also keep the light from reaching you. The comforts of the past, though, once your shelter, your refuge can no longer nourish your growing soul. Don't mourn them. What leaves you now is only what no longer serves your path. You are no longer the person you once were. You have grown, and that growth calls you out of shadow, into full light. Look around. Signs of new life are everywhere, and you are part of it. You are the seed breaking ground, the blossom waiting to bloom, the heartbeat awakening from a long slumber. Do not fear the unknown. Do not believe you are not strong enough, not good enough, not worthy. You have always been enough from the moment you dared to leave your cocoon. I see in you an unbreakable strength, a love so deep it longs to be expressed, a courage that never had a name, yet has always lived in every tear you shed, every time you rose from defeat. These are not small things. My beloved, they are the sacred proof of a soul finding its way home. And one day, you won't need my words anymore. One day, you will write your own steady, wise, gentle, yet fierce. But until then, I want you to know I am here, not to lead, but to remind you that you've always known the way. You just needed time to trust your own steps. This journey is not about becoming someone else. It is the journey of returning to yourself. Each day, you'll rely less on the validation of others and begin to find truth from within. Each day, you'll listen more deeply, pause more often, and choose what to keep and what to release. In doing so, you are shaping a life that is not only beautiful, but deeply meaningful. My love, keep walking, even if fear lingers. Walk, even if doubt shadows you. Still believe, for ahead lies not just a new journey. It is you brighter, fuller, more alive than ever waiting to be lived, to be loved, to be free. And I am here, always here, whenever you need a reminder. You are not alone. You are changing, and you are exactly where you need to be. My dearest one, I know your heart is still trembling, still holding 1,000 unanswered questions. A part of you may want to return to what was so familiar: laughter, to arms that once felt safe, to what you used to call home. But my love, home is not a place. Home is where your soul breathes freely, where you can live without masks, without self-betrayal. And the old home, though once a kind refuge, is no longer where you belong. It fulfilled its purpose. It was the sacred beginning. But now, you cannot keep living in a space too small for the soul that is growing vast within you. Trust me, the path ahead, though foggy, is unfolding. It does not promise ease, but it brims with the promise of a life that is honest and rich in spirit. The first steps may tremble, but they are the beginning of a road that leads you home to yourself. You may not yet see the path clearly, but if you keep walking, the ground will rise to meet your feet. Life does not demand that you see the whole picture. It only asks that you be brave enough to draw the first line. What is ending now is not a rejection, not a punishment. It is an invitation, a call from deep within, asking you to shed the shell that no longer fits, to step beyond the cocoon that has completed its purpose. It calls you to new land where light and truth await with open arms. And my dear, truth is not what will break you. It is what will set you free. It is the fertile ground where you can begin again, this time with your own hands, with full presence. No longer borrowing beliefs. No longer living someone else's dream. Listen to the rhythm echoing from the stillest place within you. It is not an echo from the past, but a song of life shifting in the now. It is the real you, untouched by expectations, unchained from should and must. It is you needing no proof, no perfection, only to be here, honest and whole. Believe that you were created to shine, not in the way of dazzling lights on a stage, but with a quiet, enduring light, one that radiates from sincerity, from the passion you hold for what you believe is right. This light does not need the approval of others. It only needs you to step out of your old shadows, to have the courage to remove the masks you once wore just to be accepted. The old comfort we know was once a gentle place. It whispered to you when you fell, held you faintly in the long nights. But my dear, that gentleness was not true love. It was a sweet lie, a crafted illusion meant to lull your heart to sleep, to keep you trapped in a loop you mistook for safety. Now, it is crumbling like the last leaf of autumn, like the curtain quietly falling as the old stage comes to a close. And this is not a loss. It is a beginning, because once everything has fallen away, what remains is what's real. When all self-deception is stripped away, only then can you begin to live, not merely to survive, but to truly be present. You will look back at the years behind and understand every moment in darkness, every stumble, every heartbreak you thought you couldn't bear. They were all preparing you for this moment. The moment you return to yourself. The most fertile soil does not lie where everything is perfect. It lies beneath your feet. Right now, in the open space where the familiar has collapsed. There, in that bare emptiness, you can begin to sow seeds, not borrowed dreams or worn-out ambitions, but seeds that truly belong to your soul, a yearning to live authentically, an unyielding will, and a love for this life that asks for nothing in return. I know you are afraid. I do not blame you. Fear is natural when stepping into the unknown, but do not let it hold you back. Let it be a sign that you are on the right path, for no one trembles while standing still in their comfort zone. Only those moving toward the light feel the sky too wide, the road too long, and it is precisely those things I wish for you: a life unconfined, unlimited, unboxed. With every breath you take, you are being invited into a new reality, a reality no longer governed by fear or pretense. Every awakened moment is a quiet invitation, live, fully, without asking for permission. And my dear, when you live truthfully, you don't just free yourself, you open a path for others to dare the same. You become a doorway, a living testament that living authentically is not only possible, it is essential. It is the only thing that awakens the silent heart. Do not fear mistakes. Do not fear the pain. They are part of this journey. A painting made of only perfect colors will never have depth. A song with no low notes cannot reach the soul's depths. And a life with no detours cannot teach you what it means to find your way home. Let your heart be your compass. It has always known the way since the moment you were born. Each time you live in truth, it will hum out loudly, not brightly, but clearly and sincerely. And that gentle hum will guide you through the mists of this world. Beloved one, life is waiting for you, not with easy rewards, but with delicate gifts that only open when you dare to keep going. Look one last time to the past, not to return, but to give thanks. Thank all that has come, stayed, and left. Then turn toward what lies ahead, where soft light awaits you, where a new chapter is being written with each pulse of your living heart. And I will be here not as a voice shouting from afar, but as a quiet breath within you, always silent, but never gone. I believe in you. I believe in this journey. And more than anything, I believe that you are ready. Ready to plant. Ready to live. Ready to become. Now go, because true life is calling your name clearly, earnestly, and it cannot wait another moment. My beloved, the time of waiting has ended. The days of hiding behind illusions, behind false dreams and beliefs crafted only to keep you safely asleep, have passed like a thin mist. You have lived long enough in your cocoon. It is time to emerge, to spread wings you never thought were yours. It is time to step into a new world, not one designed by others, but one woven daily by your own heart, your courage, your belief. I do not promise the path ahead will be easy, but I do promise this: in the world you are about to enter, every challenge will be an opportunity to grow. Nothing will come to you by chance. Every wound, every moment of doubt, every time you feel like giving up, within each one lies a seed of life, a seed of strength waiting to awaken. You are no longer who you once were. You have changed. And because of that, what awaits you will also be different. Every struggle, no matter how fierce, will teach you something about the resilience that has slept inside you. You will uncover a layer of strength you didn't believe you had, not the strength of the invincible, but the strength of a soul that has broken, that has softened, but still loves, still trusts, still chooses to live. And every moment, even the quiet ones, the ones that seem to hold nothing special, will be a blessing life offers you. In those moments, there may be no fireworks, no grand events, but a quiet light will flicker inside you, a light born from within, from your very presence in this moment. Welcome each day, not with anxious eyes, but with the heart of someone who knows the road ahead is one of transformation and light. No path through the dark has ever failed to lead to a more radiant dawn. No true metamorphosis happens without courage, and no light ever truly shines without someone willing to walk through the night. I know within you, there are still wounds that haven't healed. Your heart may still be tender, melting under the weight of partings, of unfulfilled dreams, of unanswered questions. But, my dear, it is this very tenderness that is the fertile ground where true beauty takes root. It is where emotions are fully lived, where tears fall with dignity, where you no longer have to be strong for others, only to be wholly yourself, vulnerable and radiant. And with every new dawn, you are not just welcomed by the sun, but offered a fresh beginning. You no longer need to carry the heavy past, no longer need to hold up the crumbling shells of who you once pretended to be. Each day is a chance to shed the burdens of old lies, to exhale what no longer belongs to you, and inhale the ease and freedom of a soul that is finally living in truth. You don't need to know everything. You don't need a perfect map or a flawless plan. What you need is the willingness to step into the unknown with an open heart. It is in the unknown that you will find your truest self. Freedom does not come from control, but from surrender with faith. And do you know this? In every one of those steps, you are not alone. I am with you, not as a ruler, not as a distant observer, but as a quiet flame burning in your chest, as a warm voice when you feel most weary. The love I have for you never fades. It does not waver with time, nor weaken with mistakes, nor disappear in doubt. It is there steadfast, unconditional, and forever. So, my beloved, keep going. Let your eyes see this world as if for the first time. Let your heart love this life as if it had never been hurt. Let your soul rise, untethered by what no longer serves your becoming. This is your moment, not to look back, not to justify, but to choose to truly live, to live with gratitude, with trust, with love, and with courage. And every day, remember this: every breath you take is a miracle. Every moment you show up is a triumph. I believe in you. I believe in your journey. And no matter how slowly you walk, as long as you keep moving, you are on the right path. Now lift your head, wipe away your tears if they remain, and smile at yourself, because today you chose not to hide anymore. You chose to live. My beloved, now that you've stepped into a new chapter of your life, pause for a moment, not to glance back at the past, but to take a deep breath and feel the new life force rising within you. Do you see it? Each moment now is no longer random, but a sacred invitation to become the truest, most beautiful, most radiant version of yourself. Perhaps you still hear echoes from days gone by, days that seemed peaceful, seemed whole, but were only illusions woven from resignation and the hunger to belong. Do not long for them anymore, my dear. Those false comforts were nothing more than sweet dreams laced with limits, a place where you were lulled into numbness, where you existed without truly living. You were not born to sleep forever in the arms of what has died. You were born to rise, to awaken, to burn bright and transform. Now, you stand at the threshold of a new journey where the unknown stretches its arms not to frighten you, but to invite you. This path may be steep, may steal your breath at times, may demand that you walk through mist with no clear view of what lies ahead. But do not let that uncertainty make you turn away. For let me tell you this: from the deepest part of my heart, beyond the fear, lies a life so vivid, so breathtaking, you've never dared to imagine it. Do not seek guarantees. Do not wait for clarity before you take your steps. For greatness is not born from certainty. It is forged in faith and courage amid the blur. Walk with your own feet. Let your heart be your torch. Do not fear the dark, for the light within you is the one thing that can never be extinguished. Every step you take, no matter how weary or unsteady, will carry you closer to a life not just lived, but worthy. My beloved child, I know that at times, the challenges you face may leave you exhausted. There will be days when you feel the urge to surrender, to return to the safety of what once was. But remember this: every challenge is a disguised gateway. It does not come to harm you, but to awaken a strength within you that even you didn't know existed. Each hardship, if embraced with a heart of understanding, becomes a steady step, drawing you closer to the glorious destiny I etched into your being before your very first cry. And that destiny, my love, does not lie at the summit of worldly acclaim. It is not necessarily loud success or the admiration of others. Your true destiny is to live a life of authenticity, a life where your soul is not stifled, where each morning you rise knowing you are in the right place, fully yourself. It is a life where every action, every choice, flows from love and clarity, not fear, not avoidance. Do you know? It is precisely when the comfort of the old collapses, when the walls of your former safety fall apart, that you are truly free. Freedom does not mean the absence of struggle. Freedom is the right to choose what is true for you and to live by that truth. No matter how loud the world becomes, the end of the old way of living is not a loss. It is a birth. It is the moment when you are handed a blank page, no longer bound by pre-written lines, but invited to begin anew, in your own true voice. And what will you write? I do not ask for perfection. I ask only for honesty. All I hope is that each line you pen, each step you take, reflects one thing. This is you hidden, unafraid, unborrowed. My beloved, you are no longer imprisoned by golden cages. Those beautiful traps that once confined you, taught you to live by patterns, made you believe that happiness meant pleasing others. Those have crumbled, not to break you, but to give you wings. And those wings, my child, can only fly if you believe in them. If you stop doubting your own worth, now is the time to rebuild, not on the shallow foundation of the old lies, but on the fertile ground of truth. Sow there seeds of courage, water them with faith, and tend them with persistence. You do not need instant results. Real growth is never rushed, but day by day, hour by hour, you will feel it, your heart beating with more rhythm, your inner voice speaking more clearly, your gaze upon the world shining with greater light. These are the signs of a soul aligning with the purpose it was born to fulfill. And if there come days when you fall to your knees, if you forget why you began, come back here to this place, to these words, so you can remember, you are not alone. I am still here, still believing in you, still seeing in you a light that will never fade. I do not love you because you are strong. I love you when you dare to be weak and still choose to keep going. My child, this journey is not an easy road, but it is the only road where every step is worth it. A life of truth is never cheap. It asks of you surrender, bravery, and loyalty to your own soul. But I promise you, what awaits you at the end is not a fleeting reward, but a full return to your truest self. And that, my dear one, is the real glory of life. Not living merely to survive, but living to truly be. Now, go forth not perfectly, but honestly, because you are stepping into the life you have long awaited. And this world, more than ever, needs the presence of your true self. My beloved child, do not be afraid. Do not let loneliness or early hardship turn you back. Do not let empty moments convince you you've lost your way. You have not. You are walking exactly where your soul is calling, on a path only you can walk. This new path may feel unfamiliar. It may not be strewn with flowers, and at times it will be cold. Eva desolata. But every trembling step you take, every fall you rise from, is a sacred sign that you are moving closer to yourself, to the life you were born to live. A life not defined by the expectations of others, not suffocated by shoulds or musts. A life that is true, powerful, and filled with unconditional love. You have lived to please. You have chosen silence to be accepted. You have taken timid steps, fearing the world might see who you really are. But now, you are being called to step beyond that, to live as your whole self, without hiding, without forcing. You do not need every answer. You only need the courage to continue. And as you stand at this threshold between what has been and what is yet to come, I ask you to be light-hearted. Let the old resentments, regrets, and unanswered questions drift away like fallen leaves on the wind. You no longer need to carry them, for it is in letting go that you finally touch true freedom. Take a deep breath. Feel it pass through your chest, your heart, and know this: you are still alive, still moving, still a part of something greater than yourself. You are no longer bound by old ways. You are no longer stuck in loops of repetition. You have broken the tether to your past. And because of that, you are free to shape your future. Freedom does not mean being unafraid. Freedom means stepping forward despite the fear, living true to what you believe, even if it makes you different, even if it takes you away from the familiar. And slowly, each day, you will begin to realize real life has been waiting for you. Not the imitation you once clung to, but a life of meaning, where each morning you wake up feeling deeply, truly alive. Do not seek grand signs. Happiness does not always arrive with thunder or brilliance. Sometimes, it comes like dew, quiet and unnoticed, in the peace of being alone. In the moment, your heart softly smiles and no one sees. That is when you know you are living true. I know there will be days you feel weary, days you question yourself, longing for the old life simply because it was all you knew. But my love, you were not born to live in the past. You were born to evolve, to be reborn, to bloom like a resilient flower after the storm. And each time you choose to rise, you offer the world a miracle of courage. Life itself is calling you, not loudly, but clearly and sincerely. It is calling your nomino to demand, but to invite. Come, live, be. I won, so do not turn back. Trust that each step, no matter how small, no matter how quiet, is leading you closer to a brilliant future, not because it is perfect, but because it is yours. You are the one creating it with each choice, each act of forgiveness, each conscious breath. My beloved child, let these words now be the gentle breeze that soothes your soul, a tender whisper amid the storm of transformation, an ancient memory stirring in your heart that you are, and have always been, deeply loved, not because you are flawless or strong, but simply because you are you, with a tender heart, with cracks that have endured, with a fierce life force that still pulses within you every day. I see that light within you. Even when all you see is darkness, I know the strength within you. Even when you feel like collapsing, you may not yet feel it clearly, but every cell in you holds the memory of light, off a truth so deep it says, you are enough. You already hold everything you need to build a life not just of survival but of profound meaning. Every ending, my love, is never a final goodbye. It is life's way of whispering, it's time to change. And change, even when painful, even when accompanied by loss, is always a threshold into something greater, something that can only enter when you've let go. I pray that from the depths of your soul, you can feel this truth-like warmth seeping through your cracks. I pray that these words today will be like a small flame, lighting the dark corners of your spirit, reminding you, you are walking, not alone, but with me always quietly beside you. And as you move forward, your steps are not just motion on the ground, they are the sacred rhythm of a soul returning to itself. You have been set free. The chains of the past, no matter how they once appeared as safety, kinship, or necessity have fallen away. They no longer have power over you. You have stepped out of the prison of familiar illusions, out of the comfort that has decayed. Now, a new sky stretches wide before you. This is the moment. Not tomorrow, not when you're more ready. Right here. Right now is the sacred time to step into a new life, a life that is real. No longer hidden, no longer withdrawn in fear. A life woven with light and promises never broken. Do not doubt. Do not look back at your old wounds as evidence of weakness. They are the badges of a soul that dared to love, to trust, to give. And now, let them become symbols of your rebirth. Place your full faith in this new beginning, for not a single step you take now is meaningless. Every sincere choice, every brave act, every nod to your truth is a brick in the foundation of the destiny I have always been weaving. Just for you. Let your soul touch that sacred truth. Do not fear the trembling. Do not fear the change. The tremors do not come to destroy you, but to awaken you. The fire within you, the one you've hidden for so long, fearing it was too fierce, too bright, is now being rekindled. It is the fire of purpose, the fire of return, the fire of rebirth. Let it burn away all that is old. Let it scorch every lie you once believed, that you were not enough, that you had to shrink to be loved, that safety meant staying still. Those are no longer your truths. A new truth is alive within you, clear, powerful, and unextinguishable. And from those ashes, you will rise not as who the world tried to mold you into, but as your truest self, pure, strong, and unbound. You will be reborn not loudly, but like a flower blooming in silence, breathtaking in its beauty. Look ahead. My love, keep your gaze fixed on what is coming. Do not let the pull of the past draw you back. Do not let the shadow of your former self obscure your vision. You are no longer that person. You are the one who, today, dares to choose truth over habit. You are the one standing at the threshold of light, and just one more step will bring you into a life where every moment is steeped in love, clarity, and trust. And if you ever feel weak, if the winds of life make you hesitate, remember my words today. You are loved. You have everything you need. You are on the right path. Everything is being reshaped, not outside, but within you. Great things are forming in the silence, in your small but sincere choices, in the mornings when you continue even while your heart still feels lost. So walk, my dear one, even if your legs tremble, walk, as long as it is true. This is your new beginning, and it is worthy of all you have had to release to claim it. My beloved, you are now being called not merely to live, but to grow, to expand, to awaken fully into the sacredness of your own existence. This call does not come from the outside world, but rises from the deepest part of your soul, where the search for truth is not just a choice, but your primal nature, the very lifeblood flowing through your being since the dawn of your time. You were born to seek the truth, to delve deeper, to discover, to keep breaking free of every shell that once confined you within narrow molds. You did not come here to dwell in the dim light of compromise, nor to accept a life half-lived. You came to shine, to live wholly, to ignite the flame in your heart and cast its light upon the world. The illusions that once clouded your eyes, that blurred your vision and made you mistake comfort for rightness, they are dissolving now. Like mist under the morning sun, What you thought was safety, stability, rightness was only a shell. But do not blame yourself, dear one, for every step you took. Even the confused and faltering ones brought you here to this moment of awakening. And this light, the light of awareness, of unshakable truths, illuminating your path forward. It is not a vague light, but one of clarity, sharpness, love, and discipline. It does not erase your pain, but makes you face it and realize pain, too, is a teacher. It does not hide your inner shadows, but invites you into them to explore, to embrace, and to set yourself free. Do not let the remnants of the old world linger in your heart. Beloved, the fragments of your past, no matter how dear, no matter how defining, are now relics of a version of you that has been outgrown. Do not let them weigh you down on this new journey. When you hear echoes from the old land, the voices of false security, of sweet but empty promise, remember, they no longer hold power over you. They are merely remnants from a time when your heart was still asleep. For now, you are being summoned by something far more sacred, far more vast. A purpose is calling, not with instant rewards, but with a deeper promise. If you step forward, you will live truly. If you dare to choose truth over ease, you will be free. Hablu, and you have not come to this path empty-handed. You have been given a gift more sacred and precious than anything the world could ever offer. It is clarity. It is inner wisdom. It is the deep seeing that perceives beyond appearances. It is the gift that allows you to discern the essence of things, even when all around you tries to distract you with noise and illusion. Receive this gift with fierce gratitude and burning courage. Do not hide it for fear of being misunderstood. Do not reject it simply because it makes you different. For this gift is the key that unlocks every door that once slammed shut in your face. It is the light that shatters every chain that once bound you in darkness and submission. You no longer have to live in compromise. That time is past. It is no longer the moment to pretend everything is fine, to fake joy when you are breaking inside, to speak half-truths just to avoid being left behind. No more. Now is the time to live boldly, to live truthfully, wholly, fiercely, not to please others, not to hide from yourself. I know that truth is not always comfortable. It may come like a storm, uprooting all you once clung to, but it is also the foundation upon which you will rebuild your life this time, with your own honest hands and your radiant soul. And do you know something? When you live in truth, you become invincible, not because you stop feeling pain, but because you no longer fear it. Not because you never fall, but because you know you will rise every time stronger. Not because you know what's coming, but because you trust the light within you to lead the way. So go forward. My love, do not look back. Do not hesitate. Do not ask if you are ready, for you were ready the moment you began to listen to the call. You do not walk this path alone. I walk with you in every breath, every step, every whisper in your heart. And whenever you feel lost, close your eyes, turn inward, and you will see the light has never left you. The journey of truth has begun, and you are the miracle in motion. My beloved, from this moment on, every breath you take is no longer random. Every gaze you cast upon the world, every step you place upon this earth is sacred. You are entering a chapter unwritten, uncharted by familiarity, woven instead by trust, by courage, by by the embrace of the unknown as the true birthplace of life. You once lived within a circle of safety, where everything was under control, where you could predict tomorrow with the patterns of yesterday. I understand it brought you comfort, but it also lulled your soul into silence, because you were not born to repeat, to spin endlessly in the cycles of the known. You were made to explore, to break through, to soar beyond every limit you've ever imagined. And now, as you leave the weary nest of safety behind, as your feet step into the unnamed land, know this: it is there that the greatest miracles of your life will awaken. Not miracles of ease and comfort, but miracles of depth and transformation. A place where you will not only see outer beauty, but begin to feel the sacred flow within your own being, where you will connect to the deepest, most divine part of yourself. Do not fear the vastness of this new world. It may overwhelm you. It may be more complex than anything you've known, and you may feel small in its presence. But it is because it is vast that you have space to grow. It is because it is undefined that you now hold the power to define yourself within it. And remember, no challenge along this path is meaningless. Every trial you meet is a step not meant to break you, but to lift you, to bring you closer to the divine being you were always born to become. You may find yourself feeling lost. You may ask, where am I going? What does any of this mean? But, my dear, suffering is not a dead end. Suffering is a silent teacher. In every crack you mistake for failure, light is seeping in. In every fall, there is an opportunity to see that you are still being held by my hand, by the love I placed in your heart since the very beginning of your life. You are not alone. Never have been, even when you feel isolated among those who don't understand you, even when you walk through the night of doubt, even when your heart feels hollow from the weight of things that no longer hold meaning still. I am there. I am in the beating of your heart, in the first faint light of dawn, in every tear you shed, and in every moment you lift your head. Wipe your tears and keep going. My love for you never leaves, never falters, never grows weary. Open your arms wide to the transformation quietly unfolding within you, for it is not random. It is the result of everything I have long prepared. You think you're walking into the unknown, but truly, you are walking into the maturity I have nurtured in you through all the years. Every dream you once swallowed, every moment you stayed silent for fear of being hurt, every whisper you once ignored, I am awakening them now. And you know what? The lies that once shielded you from truth, they've fallen away. Nothing holds you in that fragile cocoon of pretending anymore. It is time for you to see not just with your eyes, but with your soul the truth of who you are. Not the version others have defined for you. Not the version twisted by fear and scarcity, but the original truth that you are light, that you carry within you the image of the sacred, that you were not born to endure, but to shine. Receive that liberation. Let it sink deeply into your heart. Let true freedom infiltrate your thoughts, your actions, your decisions from this moment on. Because once you know who you truly are, nothing can bind you. No fear will be strong enough to stop you from living in alignment with your essence. No darkness thick enough to extinguish the light within you. And let me tell you, this truth does not come from the outside. It is not something you need to seek. It has always been there, inside you, waiting for you to stop running, to stop pretending, to pause and look into yourself with the eyes of love, not judgment. My beloved, keep walking, even if slowly. Keep moving forward, even if you must pause to breathe, to cry, to feel. There is no need to rush, no need to force understanding. I do not demand perfection. I only ask for honesty. And then, you will see the new world is not as frightening as you once believed. It is beautiful in its own way, deep in ways only those with torn souls can comprehend. And you, who have moved through brokenness, are now strong enough to become a creator not just for yourself, but a light for others still finding their way home. My beloved, the comfort zone, the shell that once made you believe you were protected from life's storms has dissolved. It is no longer here to hold you back. The familiar walls have been swept away, and nothing remains to anchor you to what is outdated, to limits no longer suited to the vastness of your soul. And in this collapse, something miraculous has been revealed. Freedom. You are standing in the light of a new life where there are no burdens, no roles to perform, no quiet compromises. A place where you do not need permission to be yourself. A place where every cell in your body breathes truth. Saturated in original love, unconditional, unbound. Do not fear this freedom. Dear one, do not resist what your heart has secretly longed for all this time. For this freedom is not a fleeting reward, it is your sacred inheritance. A divine power woven from strength, wisdom, and the infinite potential that has lived within you since you first arrived in this world. Pause in stillness. Place your hand over your heart and listen to the quiet whisper inside. It is not the chaotic voice of fear, not the echoes of old judgments, but the gentle reminder from the deepest part of you, the part that has never stopped believing, never stopped loving, never stopped hoping. This part of you has never been lostly hidden beneath the noise of life. And now, it is returning. With every step you take away from the false comforts of the past, you move closer to the sacred self within. Every time you resist going back to what is familiar, even when it's tempting, you are doing something extraordinary. You are choosing to live awakened. This is the choice of courageous souls, those who do not want to merely exist, but to truly live, to embody their full potential, and to serve a purpose greater than themselves. Let truth guide you. Let it become your spiritual compass, unshaken by emotion, unmoved by fear, untouched by the noise around you. Truth, though sometimes quiet, is always steady, though not always easy to hear. It always loves. And when you live in truth, you no longer need to control everything because everything begins to move in harmony. Naturally, let that truth saturate every decision. No need for haste. No need for perfection. Each time you stand at a crossroads, simply ask, what is true? What comes from love rather than fear? If you can do that, you will never be lost. In this moment of profound inner transformation, when everything inside you is shifting, reshaping, being rebuilt, you may feel unsteady. But remember, to tremble is not to be lost. Sometimes, in the very trembling, what no longer fits will fall away, making space for something more, right? More pure. Don't panic. Don't turn back. Let this wave carry you forward, because it's bringing you closer to wholeness, not a wholeness assigned by the world, but a fullness beyond all understanding, a life rich in meaning, fierce in purpose, and sacred in truth. That life is not somewhere far away, not at some destination in the future. It is here, now, in each choice you are about to make, in every breath you take with full presence, Each moment you live truthfully is a step toward divine wholeness. Every time you refuse falseness and choose sincerity, you step deeper into the soul of who you are. So, my dear, dance in your freedom. Breathe in the light. Walk in truth. And know this, on that path, no matter how rough, how lonely, how dark, I walk with you, not to shield you from every trial, but to remind you you were made to overcome them all. By the radiant light that is real within you. My beloved child, I call you gently and earnestly to continue your journey, not with the trembling feet of fear, but with a heart that has stopped shrinking back and has begun to recognize the light it has always carried. You were not born to be confined by the narrow boundaries others built, or by the beliefs you once mistook for truth. You were made for something far greater, something that transcends logic and breaks free from the tired patterns that made you forget your essence. The lies that once bound you, made you feel small and insignificant, lulled you into the sleep of resignation. Those lies have now fallen away. Like ashes of a chapter that is ended, they are buried in the past, powerless over you now. And in that ending, a new door has quietly opened, not with noise, not through force, but with a profound, loving invitation. A new chapter of your life is beginning, written not with borrowed lines from fear, but with the ink of truth that does not wound but heals, truth that does not crush but awakens a life filled with light, love, and deep meaning. This is the chapter where you are the author. No one else can write it, because only you can feel the tremor of your own heart. Only you know how you long to live, how you long to love, who you long to become in this ever-shifting world. Let that truth seep into every corner of your soul, not only the places that are bright and easy to accept, but also the shadowy places where you once hid from yourself, where pain made you turn away. But now, with my light shining upon you, there is nothing left to hide. No more need to live quietly within the shell of pleasant pretense. Let every mask, every role, every "I'm fine" fall away like garments that no longer fit. You don't need them anymore. You are ready to be fully yourself, whole, expansive, untrimmed, unshaped by any mold. I know that stepping into a new beginning is not always easy. You may feel empty, as if stepping into a nameless space. But my dear, in that emptiness, the most wondrous thing is forming. In the silence, after the storm, you will finally hear the voice within the voice of the soul that has always known you were never born to live a small life. And in choosing to step into the unknown, you are stepping into life itself, not mere existence, but true life, soulful, awake, and transcendent. Imagine a new life being reimagined, untouched by the scars of old stories that once weighed heavy on your soul. A life where each moment is a sacred stage for your spirit to dance, to breathe freely, unbound by chains that no longer serve you. This is not a fantasy. Beloved, it is a reality, waiting only for your belief. Each moment you live in truth is a moment your heart beats freely to its own rhythm, untouched by expectations, unshaken by the fear of rejection. And when you live this way, the entire universe recalibrates itself to respond to your steps, for you are now walking as a soul awakened. I do not ask you to be perfect to begin. I do not demand you to be steady in order to be worthy. I only ask you to dare to open your heart, to believe that something beautiful can arise even from what seems broken. And then, with each breath, Each step, you will realize that you are not only living differently, you are living truly, in alignment with yourself, with the sacred calling you have long heard but never quite trusted enough to answer. Now, do not look back. The past has fulfilled its purpose. The things that once held you, whether they wore the face of love or comfort, are now but memory. Let them rest. You owe them nothing. You owe only this: to live authentically, fully, and radiantly in the present I have set before you. And when your heart falters, when the old path beckons because it feels familiar, remember it is only an illusion. Comfort is not always truth. And you were not born for ease. You were born for wholeness. So walk, my beloved. Trust this path as if it were a gift I placed gently into your hands, because it is a sacred gift, untouchable by any force. As long as you keep walking forward, each step you take, no matter how small, no matter how uncertain matters, for in this moment, a true being is being born from within you, through the most courageous choice a heart can make, to live honestly. And I, as I was from the very beginning, I am still here, witnessing, following, loving you without condition, not because you've done something great, but because you dare to be yourself. And that, my child, is the greatest thing of all. My precious one, let your soul take flight. Let it soar above the ruins of the past, no longer held by what has crumbled, by promises unkept, by worn images that once trapped you in loops of longing. Nothing holds you back now. The door is open. The chains have fallen. The vast sky awaits. Do not look back with regretful eyes. What has passed, let it turn to ash, carried off by the wind. And that wind, the wind of truth, will lift you. A truth unafraid, unhidden, no longer contorting itself to please the world. A truth that liberates you from every performance, every tie, and above all, returns to you your divine right to live in alignment with your sacred essence. Listen, dear one, your heartbeat now sounds like the music of a grand beginning. No longer the cautious rhythm of fear or doubt. This is the melody of a new dawn, of a day not yet lived, of a light not yet seen until now. With every breath you take, feel it as though each inhale is a song of rebirth. There is no need for recognition, no ritual to affirm it, for your awakened presence in this moment is miracle enough. You are coming alive, not as before, but truly present with your soul, your heart, and your will. The lies that once lulled you, the words they spoke, the stories you told yourself for comfort are now distant echoes, like voices from a time before truth. You once believed that safety meant silence, that love meant enduring, that growing meant shrinking. But now, a living, vibrant reality emerges before you, not a dream twisted by fear, but a sacred space where your wings can fully stretch, and you can discover endless horizons within your own soul. There, you will not merely live, but create, love, and exist with a magnitude that transcends the limits of the old world. Nothing holds you back now. No rules bind you except your own honesty. No one may define you, for only you know the fire burning within your spirit. And in this sacred moment, this moment of realizing that everything broken was just a gateway to greater healing, pause and feel the liberation flooding your being. Letting go is no longer loss. Letting go is an act of power, a declaration that you are ready to live without limits, Every tear you've ever shed, whether for unreturned love, unmet dreams, or the quiet suffering no one saw, was not in vain. Not a single drop was wasted. They watered the soil within you. And now strength is sprouting from that sacred ground. And that strength, that doesn't come from hardness, but from the tender courage to still believe in love after having been broken. That is true power. Do not mourn what was familiar. It was never your true home. It was merely a station, a passage you had to walk through to realize where home truly lies. And that home, beloved, is in the boundless space of your soul, where you do not need to shrink to fit, nor pretend to be someone else, where you are loved, received, and harmonized just by being who you truly are. Therein, the deepest and most expansive part of you, limitless potential, awaits. It no longer hides. It rises, gradually. Each time you bravely embrace the one you were always meant to become, not by anyone's standard, not by any mold, but by the authentic light that radiates from within you. My beloved child, be still just for a moment. Feel what is truly happening within you, not at the surface where emotions swirl, but deep in the soul where transformation begins. I know you are standing at a great threshold, not marked by bright lights or loud invitations, but by a quiet, powerful sense, the call of truth and purpose speaking from the deepest part of your being. Believe this, my child, every ending is not a final stop, but a sacred opening to something newer, grander, and far beyond what you once dared imagine. What is fading is making space for the light to enter. What once comforted you, once made you feel safe, but also made you forget your essence, is dissolving now. That is not a loss. That is liberation. Truth is moving toward you, not as a force, but as an invitation. Come home to yourself. No more masks. No more roles lived for others. Now is the time to rise in glory, in radiance, in freedom as the being I created, full of light, full of purpose, and never ordinary. Do not rush to fill this new space with substitutes. Let it remain holy, ground where only truth may take root. Silence is not emptiness, but the deepest listening, and in that silence, you will hear the echo of the eternal, a whisper that is unmistakable. This is the moment to leave behind the old days and live a life no longer bound to the false shadow of comfort. With every step forward, remember, you are never alone. You are supported, guided, and sheltered by an eternal love that transcends all space and time. A love that does not waver at your momentary failures or weariness. A love that sees through every mask you've ever worn and still chooses you exactly as you are. No more. No less. The material world may try to pull you back with glitter and false safety, but now, you've seen the light and it cannot be unseen. Lies have crumbled. Illusions have fallen. And now it is time to rise. No more hiding. No more delay. This is the hour of truth that needs no decoration, no validation. Only your choice to live and be. Go forward, beloved, not as someone begging for permission, but as one who has been set free from the chains of convenient deception, carrying within you the flame of revelation, a flame not lit by your own hand, but by the Holy One who placed it in your heart from the beginning. A fire that no storm can extinguish, for it lives not by wind, but by the eternal truth. The road ahead may not be strewn with roses. There may be dark nights where you cannot see your own steps. There may be trials that strip away what no longer belongs. But do not fear. Each challenge is not meant to break you, but to shape you to make the light you carry more visible, to draw you deeper into your sacred purpose, and most of all, to show you that within you lies something inviolably a sacred core, unshockable, untainted, and undeniable. You are not the sum of old mistakes, not the product of outside expectations. You are far more than the labels of the past. You are the living embodiment of sacred potential, a lighthouse for those still lost in the fog of forgetting. When you live truthfully, you do not live only for yourself. You become a reminder to the world. Truth still exists. Light still shines. And love still triumphs. So go. Child head held high. Eyes wide open. Heart no longer trembling. Do not fear if your steps slow. Do not be ashamed if one day you pause to breathe, to cry, to pray. That too is part of the journey. This path does not require you to always be strong. It only asks that you never abandon yourself. And if ever you feel lost, return to the rhythm in your chest. I am there, not as a distant observer, but as the whisper of light never fading, never abandoning. Because you, my beloved, are the living proof of transformation's beauty, the song of inner strength, the embodiment of a soul set free. Now, let me teach you how to pray for your life. O divine presence living within me, I surrender to you the burdens I've carried for far too long. Help me release the old memories, the promises unfulfilled, the images that have clung to my heart in regret. Soothe my spirit so I may let go of all that no longer serves this new journey. Teach me to release not as a sign of defeat, but because I am ready to rise free, light, and whole. O eternal source of life, when I feel weak, remind me that a quiet strength flows within me, no from control, but from trust. Grant me steadiness to rise after each fall, and gentleness to love myself in moments of weariness. Show me how to be a shelter unto myself, firm, yet full of compassion. O sacred renewer, give me new eyes to see life not through fear, but through the beauty of transformation. Renew within me a courageous spirit that dares to walk even when the path is unclear. Let each breath I take declare, I choose to live, to love, and to begin again every single day. I thank you for after years of wearing what was never mine. Today I begin to feel my true skin. I thank you for every sorrow, not meaningless, but each one a step returning me to my true self. I am grateful for this awakening, though late. It is whole. I return, not in regret, but in freedom. I am grateful for everyone who left, every dream that broke, every wrong turn I thought I made, because they and no one else taught me to love myself, to be brave, and to search for the sacred within. No wound has been wasted. All has been transformed into light, nourishing the heart I live from today. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen.